Travis, my good soul. So I'm pissed with YouTube yet again. They attacked Jasmine. Jasmine made a comment. There's nothing wrong with her comment. Jasmine is my #1 heart. She's got the Purple Heart Award from YouTube. And YouTube flagged her comment. And there was nothing wrong with it. The Mormon YouTube employee is pure evil. I have no clue how many followers have been banned simply by YouTube and the Mormon employee of YouTube without me knowing about it, without my approval. YouTube sucks. And I warned you, it's gonna get worse leading into the election. Everybody will be under attack throughout this whole nation and turning America into a survival of the fittest. Florida banning abortions, but teasing them, thinking that women can get their rights back in the vote in the 2024 election. You don't get it. You already had rights in 14th Amendment, Section 1. The Supreme Court of the United States overruled it. They overthrew the Constitution. So Joseph Smith was right. The Constitution would be in jeopardy in the latter days. We're in the latter days. 6 days left. And so everything's already happened. According to prophecy, you can now go through your scriptures and go, oh my God, that's what that is. That's how that happened. Oh my God, that's so-and-so. You're not going to do it because you don't believe in the learning of the Jews. You got Christian blindness disease given to you by Constantine. So, the only real church news is they put up the idol god of Moroni on the Salt Lake Temple. And they forgot the horn again. Oh, that was so awesome. Day after my birthday, 2020. We were just notified that coronavirus is going to plague the world. And I was threatened by an employee of the landlord, who I have nothing to do with them. God. Everybody's trying to murder you when you sue the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the federal court. But nonetheless, yeah, the horn got knocked out with the Magna earthquake. And I did the videos, and the first one was the only one that people wanted to watch. And so my explanations, videos that came after, nobody cared about. And so yeah, again, 6 days, and nobody cares that we're in the latter days. I don't get it. Everybody draws near to the scriptures with their lips, but they don't care if it's true or not. They just pick and choose what they want to misinterpret out of context to accuse others of. It's all the accusatory game. What can you accuse others from in the Bible? You too can now be a judge, jury, and executioner. So, yeah. Magna means strong. And so, the angel Gabriel, the god of strength, announcing the birth, not of Jesus, remember? Mormons don't care. They don't care about the religion of the learning of the Jews, and thus the religion of the concept of a Christ in the learning of the Jews. And so you miss everything. You probably think that Jesus came to Joseph Smith in the first vision. And so, yeah, Willard Richards screwed things up. Willard Richards is the one who put Jesus Christ in the name of Joseph's church. Because 1838 was when Brigham Young cooed the church and called himself the president of the church. I've done the videos, I've shown you the documents, I've provided the financial receipts, I know it all. Don't think you're going to come onto my channel and Danite-splain of Joseph Smith's false accusations by the Danites. You do not study, you heard from someone else, and you think you know it all. You don't, they don't. Why did you listen to them? Because it was doubt promoting? You left the church because you no longer have faith promotion, so now you have doubt promotion, and you still didn't catch on from simply reading Learning of the Jews. 1 Nephi, chapter 1, verse 2. Real simple. Or as Benson tells us, plain and precious. As he then goes on to lie to you that it's another testament of Jesus Christ. God, and Mormons can't catch on, huh? You know, oh, that Samuel Bateman, ooh yeah, he's a false prophet, lock him up with that other guy, Warren Jeffs and Brian David Mitchell. Your prophets too, all of them need to be locked up, Mormons. Anybody who preaches Jesus is Lord is an anti-Semite enemy of mankind who are lying to you to make you dumb. Just like Constantine did when he created Jesus with his creation of Christianity. The great and abominable church. Only two churches, Mormons, Jewish and Christian. You chose Lucifer. Plain and precious. So, Willard Richards, by putting in Jesus Christ in the name, in verse 1 of the 1838 history, justified doing the change by changing the name of the second vision. Notice I say vision, because Constantine turned the Jewish scriptures into literal history. So none of this is literal history, ex-foe nevermores. You fall for the Danite lies, and you have doubt promotion that says Joseph is the fraud. It's the Danites. And you refuse to believe, just like Mormons refuse to believe that it's Jewish too. Everybody's a sucker in the Mormon church, even when you leave. But I saw a critic channel that indicated that BYU is still excommunicating any student, or expelling any student who leaves the church, which is kind of a wrong practice, because the football team has to hire out better players than the white boys of Utah so that they can win games, especially against the University of Utah. And so typically they'll go to the Polynesian community, but the church, knowing that they needed a good football team, converted the Polynesians to solve that problem, so they don't have to get other better quality players from the heathens of Christianity. So the second vision, it's Nephi. And he says, well, Joseph Smith already said that it was Moroni. No. Joseph Smith is making a correction of section 27 in so doing. Verse 5. Behold, this is wisdom in me, wherefore marvel not, for the hour cometh that I will drink of the fruit of the vine with you on the earth. I prefer cran raspberry juice. It's my favorite. 100%. No fruit cocktails with high fructose corn syrup. No, 100% real juice. That's $5 for, is it 2 liters? Dear God. And with Moroni, whom I have sent unto you to reveal the Book of Mormon. That's an error. And not necessarily an error, per se, unless they're talking about an event that we don't know about. But no, it's Nephi who appeared to Joseph Smith in the second vision. That's what he says. But the thing is that this was given in August of 1830 in Harmony, Pennsylvania, Joseph? Yes. It's not called Harmony. I've done the videos. It hadn't been called Harmony for at least a decade by this time. It was Harmony it was Harmony before, or it was no longer Harmony when Senior arrived in Palmyra after having to leave Vermont for being poor after 3 years of failed business enterprises. And so the laws of Vermont said no poor people allowed, and they had to go. And so Samuel and Alvin, at least 1 or 2 sons went with Senior to Palmyra before getting the others. He had to acquire a job first and a place to live and all that stuff. So that's why he came to Palmyra. And then he became a master mason in 1818, and magically they were allowed a place to live on the farm in Manchester if they could develop it. But they kind of had some problems. And then in 1826, some national security threat problems on 9/11. And thus was born the Book of Mormon. But none of you know that because you don't believe me when I do my real church history videos. You all believe it's literal history, whether it's faith promotion or doubt promotion. You don't want to know the real truth? Dear God. And so, yeah, it's Nephi. Joseph Smith is correcting this. It's supposed to be Nephi. And the reason why is because Nephi is the king, i.e. Christ, of the Book of Mormon. The rewritten 116 pages, yeah, purposely is about Nephi. Even though he's abridging the record of his father, but only for the purpose of getting to him, Nephi. And so if you'll notice, there's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Nephi. As there is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Kings. You know what? There's only 1st and 2nd Kings, Travis. It's because you don't know that the Jews in their biblical Hebrew text have 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th Kings, not 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings. So, but Samuel is the name of God, which Messiah, the Hebrew Christ. You have name of Moses combined together for son. And then Messiah has the one extra letter at the end. And so the name of Moses is the Messiah, and he's the sun god at noonday of the Egyptians, who is Emmanuel. Amen. It's on Academia. Shows that I'm a translator. Nelson's not a translator, and yet Mormons still cling to Lucifer. That's Russell Marion's baby name meaning. Been doing the videos all this time. Have a picture thing that I've been putting up here all this time. And Mormons don't care. They just don't bother to read it. If we don't read it, it's not true. If we don't hear Travis, it's not true. I've got to put in headphones and not put them on my ears, and then just type in my hate comment and death threat and testimonial that the Church of Jesus Christ is true. Leave us alone. You're not leaving Joseph in the Book of Mormon alone, are you? That's who I'm defending, because they can't do it. Dear God, you guys are just pure evil because you can't understand that there are two churches, Jewish and Christian. And so you follow the false prophets to your grave, and you give them money? Oh my God. You pay the prophets who are going to murder you. You make them rich, you're poor, and they're going to murder you now. Good job, Mormons. Go down in history as the most disgraceful, gullible, suckered losers in history. Far worse than Jim Jones, far worse than Heaven's Gate, far worse than that other guy, was it it's famous, infamous. The FBI raided the complex, and then chaos ensued. It was a big disaster, and now the government's scared to go up against a militant church, like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then, I guess the one guy blew up the federal building, which the X-Files helped us understand was to cover up alien bodies. Scully, remember that face? I'm making it right now. Awesome show. Awesome. So I was back when I had my first wife, and at first we were watching it together, and she thought it was exciting because Scully was the female, and she's scientific minded and about truth, and the guy is some crazy nutcase who's into supernatural anti-science stuff. And as the show went on, she was starting to realize that it's favoring Fox. And so she didn't want to watch it with me after that. I still wanted to watch because of Scully, as all geeks do. But nonetheless, it's just, what's a guy to do when the wife doesn't want to share her life with him? So yeah, she was always upset with me because I knew more than her, and so she therefore accused me of being condescending simply because I knew more than her. You know, when you say, no, you said this, you're being condescending. No, it's what you said. She was purposely trying to destroy the marriage, so there was a bigger picture behind all that. Dear God, to become a prostitute? Why couldn't she just say, it's over, I don't want to be with you anymore? She just didn't have the courage to do that. She went out and whored herself instead of telling me she didn't love me anymore. Anyway, I digress. So Nephi is important because these are the keys that your prophet, the Christ, born among Mormons, remember learning of the Jews? Messiah ben David comes after Messiah ben Joseph, son of Joseph. 2 Nephi chapter 3. Have to keep repeating things because everybody is new, because all the previous new people have already sent hate comments and death threats and testimonials of Jesus, and so you've had to been hidden from my channel, and so you're all new people now, and you have no clue that you have 6 days left to cram to figure all this out. It's a little too late to cram. I've been telling you this since the beginning of the year, and even into last year. Time is running out, guys. You know, you don't have much time left to learn new things. You know, and Child Faith, who's not communicated with me in at least a few days now. Child Faith, where are you? Did YouTube ban you too? Dear God. Anyway. You know my email, so you could have communicated that way. Unless, like Jasmine, both of you are banned on email too. What the hell? I can't have friends. They've got to be banned. Dear God. So, yeah, it's the keys of the record of the Stick of Ephraim. Keys are different than the keys of translation, which are not keys, they're gifts. Section 107, verses 92, after talking about the key of Moses having to do with being president of the church. There's a difference between keys of the head of the church versus the gifts that only the head of the church has. And I've been trying to give it away all this time. I gave Kwaku the gift of translation and he threw it away. I call it key because that's how you understand it, but you know, and I've got lesson manuals trying to teach Paleo Hebrew. I need to update it desperately. But nonetheless, I've got my full Paleo Hebrew decipherment up there. I've got some Egyptian stuff to help you out because I'm way behind on other projects to get done. But yeah, I'm trying to help you guys out so that all may be prophets. Anybody recognize where that comes from? Yeah, and you'd be correct by quoting how rare a possession. Old Testament, I believe. It's by Moses. Moses is the one who wished that all could be prophets, and thus it's a prophecy, and oh, there it is. I did it again. All prophecies must be fulfilled. I cannot self-proclaim, you know, like all those other guys who are in trouble with the law, or the one who does a YouTube channel who's from the FLDS church, or one of the other branch offs. I don't know, I don't care. He's a false prophet, and yet he's more popular than I am. I hope it's not because they believe him, but rather that they watch him for entertainment value. Can you believe what he said here? Oh, obviously Jesus is Lord. He is so false. Yeah, I had encounters with him. He would follow me on my channel because I would talk about the One Mighty and Strong, and so that got his attention because apparently he searches YouTube for anybody who talks about that because he thinks he's the expert on it because he thinks he's it. all prophecies have to be fulfilled. You can't self-proclaim, right, Nelson? Dear God. So, yeah, the keys cannot be obtained by anybody else. That's why Nelson doesn't have them. He won't do it. Instead, they falsely claim the Book of Mormon is the fulfillment of this, that Joseph Smith got the keys, and it's from Moroni, and it's already done, so we don't need to worry about it. There's more to do, you dumbass. It's the whole Bible, remember? We believe the Bible to be the Word of God as far as it is translated correctly. It still, to this day, is not translated correctly. Benson, with Monson and Hinckley as his counselors, came out in 92 August, if I'm remembering correctly, with the First Presidency statement on why the hell are we still using the King James Version of the Bible. And his excuse was, well, Joseph Smith used that Bible, and so we use it. Yeah, Article of Faith number 8, but Joseph Smith had this Bible, and so we use it. Well, where's the Apocrypha? Joseph Smith said in the Doctrine and Covenants that the Apocrypha is good to go. Where is it? Well, he also said that there's some errors in there, and so we're not, And then there are other scriptures we're supposed to add, because, the Great and Abominable Church compiled the current Bible in its form. The Latin Vulgate being second. Septuagint was first, I think, if I remember correctly. But very close together in time frame. One in Latin, one in Greek. And so, yeah, those two are incorrectly translated, because the Paleo-Hebrew is the source document. So any book claiming to be a Greek or Aramaic translation of a Paleo-Hebrew origin text, which the Dead Sea Scrolls would reveal which is which, like Genesis, the Latin version and the Greek version are not the translation of the Dead Sea Scrolls Paleo-Hebrew version. Joseph Smith is correct. And what do you know? There is no Baith at the beginning. Huh. How did Joseph Smith know? King Follett Sermon. Biblical Hebrew text is wrong too, because that came way later, hundreds of years after those other two, and they were trying to harmonize it, but they knew that there was some errors, so they compromised, and they, in so doing, all three involve multi-personalities of one author. You can't do that. The author has one linguistic pattern. Stick with the one linguistic pattern. You're altering the translation and revealing that the author has a multi-personality disorder. You are giving it to him. It does not exist. And so, yeah, the keys of the stick of Ephraim has to do with correcting the Bible and using the Egyptian documents from which the Bible authored Jews got their stories from and put them into a narrative form. And so, yeah, even in each book, there are multiple records all combined together to form a narrative. That's what each of the Jewish authors did in each of their books. It doesn't have one Egyptian source document from which they got it from. They picked and chose several Egyptian source documents, combined them together into a particular narrative. And thus, Genesis contains multiple versions of the Matthew author, for example. It's the same stories. They're just combined in a different way, given different names for the heroes and different period of time from when the events occurred, but they're all the same thing. Once you understand that, then you can plug in Joseph Smith's section 103, verses 16 and 17 for the interpretation of them that are going on right now. And then you can see how the prophecies are being fulfilled. And so, like I said, 6 days left, too late. All I can do now is just yell, "Get the hell out of Babylon, quick! And take me with you. We got to go to the right location, because Missouri is a trap." But again, Nelson could fail. He's failed to hire hitmen that have been successful for me. Maybe he'll be more successful on you, thinking that he'll take me out with you. But I'm not paying the church to have me murdered. You are. So, yeah. And so the only person who can have these keys is the president of the church. Nelson doesn't have these keys. He's got the wrong keys for being president. He claims Peter. That's just for being an elder to preach the gospel. Keys of Moses, the Christ keys for the president of the church. And this church of Jesus Christ will never claim to be the Christ. And thus you know they're false. So, there you have it, Nephi. And so, yeah, his stories are likewise like the Bible stories, the whole Book of Mormon. They're compiled together like a narrative, but each one has separate stories in them. So, Lehi, right at the beginning, you can identify in the 116 pages when the story ends and when a new one begins. And you have to, again, reevaluate who the different characters are from section 103, verses 16 and 17. Who the true Christ is of the latter days, who the false prophet is of the latter days, and what church the great and abominable church is, and what the church of the Lamb, those who follow him, and plug it into the particular story. So Laman and Lemuel, Laman the false prophet, Nephi the Christ, the latter days. And so those that follow Laman are the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Those that follow the Lamb are one, maybe less than a handful. No woman. So, yeah, easy breezy cover girl. But maybe it's Maybelline. Calling it added to my thing. And so, yeah, it's concerning the last days. Look at this, verse 6. And also with Elishua, yeah, it's not Elijah, because, yeah, verse 9, there's Elijah. And so when you see Elias, in Greek, it's Elijah. And so here it's incorrect, it's Elishua, God of salvation. In the Kirtland Temple thing, I'm rambling off, we're at 35 minutes, I should end. It's already 5 o'clock, the day went fast. But yeah, keys of bringing to pass the restoration of all things spoken of by the mouth of the holy prophets since the world began concerning the latter days. I've got those keys. What do you think I've been doing in these videos all these years? I've been restoring the learning of the Jews. You couldn't see it because of Christian blinders of non-Trinitarian Jesus. And so I've unsealed the 7 seals. 7 seals are for the latter days, the 7 years. Ta-da! Technically 8, but it's the millennium. So yeah, we're 6 days left in the 7th seal. Here we are. Boom. And so yeah, the earthquake in the 6th seal. Yeah, the Magna earthquake. No horn. Oh no. Where'd it go? It's because Moroni is the false messenger. It's Nephi. So, there you have it.